Hello everyone and welcome to issue number 84 of Anti-Life Reviews. I am the Tony Makaya, Master of Minds and of Men. We are nearing the end of Darwyn Cooke month, and I finally get a chance to talk about a character I almost never get to talk about, and that is Doop. Underrated, fantastic Doop. As we will see here in the Marvel Comics publication that ran from May to June in 2003, we're going to go ahead and look at Wolverine / Doop. Before we do that, please subscribe. It'll be doing me wonders. Also, my Patreon is a little more functional, and for even just $1, you can help support an old demon out. But let's go ahead and get to it. Let's talk about the writers and artists on this. The writer on this is Peter Milligan. Talked about Peter on my Rogan Gosh review a little bit, and my Enigma review, but I sure don't mind talking about him again. Legendary writer, has virtually done it all. But it's his run in Ecstatic that is important here, where he helped create a character called Doop, a sort of strangely powerful mascot for the team. Always been a fan. I'm a huge fan of Ecstatic. One day I'll go over it eventually. And the artist on this is, of course, Darwyn Cooke, the Man of the Month. Another legend. His art has a golden age flair that I think most people appreciate. Worked on mostly DC stuff his entire career, but he did dip his toes into the Marvel Comics on occasion, and this is one of those occasions. Starting the issues off, the Pink Mink. A strange technology hidden in a secret lab has escaped. So the group who created it, captured it, I don't know, hires the Wolverine to find out what happened to it. The pink mink is a fabric with a pheromone response that makes people with the mutant gene go insane and often turn pink. Well, who has it but the Collector? No, not that one. Some other random dude with the name. Well, Wolverine shows up to get the mink back, but in a rage knocks the mink free from its cool fire lock, and Wolverine is enchanted by its spirit, or whatever, in the mink, called the Pink Lady. So the mink, or lady, or both, escape, and Wolverine is summarily fired from this job, but he can't forget the pink woman. She's stuck in his head, and all the drugs, booze, and women cannot get her out. So who can Wolverine turn to help? Doop, for some reason. Doop's team Ecstatic has been gathering pink people up for days now to keep them safe, and as a message, all the pink people begin shooting claws out of their hands, showing Doop who he needs to talk to. We got to 2 weeks later where Doop and Wolverine think they can find the mink and the Collector. Well, they do find the Collector and his men, who are all dead, covered in pink paint after having committed suicide as an homage to the Pink Woman. Later, while they are deep in their cups, the Pink Lady seems to psychically attack Wolverine and Doop, leading to them not trusting each other. Thankfully, they are interrupted by the bar breaking out into a huge brawl, with the two working together, but it ends with both of them wary of the other. Moving back over to the scientists who hired Wolverine, they go on to hire Hunter Joe, a supernatural big game hunter, to capture the pink mink, of course. He's excited about this job and about the showdown with Wolverine and Doop. Of course, the two don't trust each other, Wolverine and Doop, both of them in their respective teams, X-Men and Ecstatic, hatching plans to prove the other is insane, all the while Hunter Joe is watching them. The duo head towards Toronto, seeming epicenter of the pink people, and they presume where the Pink Lady is. Eventually the tensions rise and the heroes come to blows, with Wolverine punching one of Doop's eyes out, but it's okay soon after, and they find that Hunter Joe has taken the Pink Lady when they arrive to try to find her. So of course they go after Joe, but he's prepared and captures the two, but the pink people overrun the hunter's lair, killing him and looking for their mistress. Wolverine and Doop come to blows again over the Pink Lady, but in the end Wolverine sleeps with the woman, and Doop gets the mink, and after a duo night of passion, the Pink Lady and Wolverine are satisfied, and the mink reproduces. Alright, we find out Hunter Joe's head has been kept by Doop as a trophy, hinting at a slightly more sinister undertones for the Slimer-looking fella. Alright, let's talk about this. This was an incredibly fun little story. It's only 2 issues, but it really packs a lot into it. Reminds me of a mix of like Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and The Maltese Falcon. Not as good as either of those. Just had that kind of strange early cinema feel to it. Not quite detective, not quite horror, not quite noir, but a mix of it. The art lends itself to that. Lots of grit and grime and bars, seedy alleyways, strange mansions and underground science facilities. It's all very simple, but it's effective and quite a breeze to read. The duo of Milligan and Cooke worked together before, and it shows here. My one real gripe is, why Doop and Wolverine? They are hilarious together. That's a fact. And we will see that in Wolverine and the X-Men, the comic where Doop is a staple. But we really get no reason why Wolverine wants to work with Doop. Doop with Wolverine, we get sort of a reason. But whatever, it works. It's just not totally clear. And just some notes about the story I wanted to bring up. The pink lady minx thing she does to people is kind of vague. It's described as a narcotic that stimulates animal and sexual instincts. Also said it affects only people with the X gene, the mutant gene. But why are some of them pink? I don't know. The collector, who is not Tanelier Tavar, one of the elders of the universe, is just some guy with the name, the collector, who frankly reminds me of Augustus St. Cloud from the Venture Brothers, in visual as well as in attitude. He doesn't really have anything cool in his collection, frankly, though he does say he has the real Shroud of Turin, which is said to have been the shroud that Christ has been draped in after his death, the real Mona Lisa, which had been stolen in 1911. It was not a popular picture before this, but after it had been found in 1913, it exploded in popularity and remains so to this day. Aristotle's Poetics, an important work on literary theory, widely considered to be just notes and not the full idea, so he has the full version, and the original version of the Constitution, which does exist. There is one. The Constitutional Library, I believe, has it. Hunter Joe is said to have caught and killed the Loch Ness Monster, whom was pregnant, a green unicorn, a white unicorn, a Minotaur of New York, and Bigfoot. Doop is curiously described as an amorphous green blob of dubious sexual and moral proclivity. I always like the hint that Doop is more sinister or dangerous or far more into something darker than we realize. He reminds me of Peppermint Butler from Adventure Time. Something inside of him is far stranger and darker than we know. We also get what I'm sure is not intentional, but to me there's a scene where Doop becomes an affection with a mop. Reminds me of wrestler Perry Saturn, or in the WWF, WWE, he gets some sort of brain injury and becomes affectionate with a mop called Moppy. Overall, this was just a small, fun, little noir kind of comic with a good writer, a good artist, and a strange but oddly compelling little story. Yeah, I absolutely recommend reading this for the 10-minute time kill it would take. Well, that was the short but sweet mini for week 4 of Darwyn Cooke Month. Would you like to see Doop in the MCU? Who do you think would do his voice, his Doop speak as well? Let me know down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out my new and improved Patreon, where you can help me out for as low as $1 a month or not at all. Add me on Instagram under Demon Peaks for daily Twin Peaks memes. Check my podcast, the Dark Peaks Podcast, and come back next week for the last of Darwyn Cooke Month. I'll be looking at The Twilight Children. This has been the Tono Makaya, Master of Minds and Men. Thank you very much, and goodbye.